Hey guys, so I wanted us to look at this percent stuff that we're gonna start here for this week, but not being together, I wasn't sure how to do this. So we're gonna kind of do an experiment. I'm gonna kind of start one and show you pictures. But for this to work, you need to like do the assignment as I ask, and then at the end, we're gonna do video so that we all kind of stay on the same page. Of course, if you have questions, email, comment on the classroom, go through Google Hangouts and chat, or if you want to do video conferencing or tutoring, you need to make sure your parents have filled out the form that I emailed to them, and then we can video chat. Otherwise, I think we're still okay to turn our cameras off and we can still talk. That I'll have to check with Dr. Jewel about, but I can chat with you, type back and forth. We can do it that way, definitely. And of course, we have our weekly class meetings on Monday. All right, so let's get going. So this percent investigation, the first thing the first slide does is, of course, it tells you, and you've already done this, I forgot, because anyhow, sorry. So I went to the Dollar Tree and got some of these grow toys, and your question before you're even looking at this in the classroom was like, what do you notice? What do you wonder? So do you notice that this says it is going to grow 600%? Well, it does say up to 600%. That seems like it is going to get huge to me. So we're going to kind of check that out and see if it happens. We're going to talk about percent of change and what percent it's growing and things like that to help us get into our next unit. Okay, and I will tell you that my daughter gets these from time to time. I mean, it's at the Dollar Tree. This would be a good thing to, just for something fun. And sometimes, like when she was little, they would have the treasure boxes in elementary school, and they always had these kind of things in. And she wasn't sure she believed that, so we did actually grow one and measure it. So that's what made me think to do it with you guys. All right, so we're going to find out if this is true. And I also thought it might be interesting to figure out, since we talked about rate of change earlier this year, we talked about similar figures in dilation and direct variation. I wonder if this is going to grow proportionately. Is it going to grow the same, or will it like grow fast and then slow down, or will it start slow and get faster? Like, that's what I'm wondering. So for that reason, I'm going to check it every day, but because it is Sunday, didn't go out of the house yesterday on Saturday. And I want you guys to start, tomorrow, and we only have a 4-day week. And I'm anxious to see. I'm going to take a measurement instead of every 24 hours, every 12 hours. So I'm going to kind of keep it at that 12-hour mark so that we get some data that we can see, is this really growing proportionately or not, okay? All right, so every day I'm going to post a new picture with a measurement, and I'll show you. Well, you've seen it, but in a minute, and then you're going to record the measurement on the Google slide. I'm going to share the whole slide, each slideshow. I cut it up into different days with you, so you have a copy. You can turn that back into me so I can see what your answers are, and I'll give you feedback, yes, no, maybe so. If I have other questions, I can ask you. But I'm going to send it back to you so you can kind of put them, I think, and y'all can let me know if this works or not. You can copy them all into one big presentation, right? Or you could just even take the slide that has the table on it and add that like as a digital notebook if you want. Or of course, you can always write this in your journal and keep track of it that way too. All right, so, and I don't think you can see all my... Let's get started. So I picked the stingray. I had a stingray and a starfish, and I picked the stingray because I thought it would be easier to measure. Okay, so I put a toothpick. I measured this. I taped that down on my kitchen table there, the tape measure. And I think centimeters are going to be easier to measure. And so I used the toothpick so we could see exactly where that was. Okay. All right, so we're going to call this day 0 because this is where we're starting from. A day has not yet passed. We just started, so I'm calling it day 0. Okay, how long is the toy? And then that's going to be our original. We're basing all of our change off of that original amount there. And what percent does that represent? Okay. All right, so you guys already have answered, hopefully, and turned that in. And now you're watching the video to see if you're right. Let me go back. Am I going back? I think you just get to this slide here. this is not at 7.5, it's just a little bit, it's in between 7 and 7.5, okay, so, or however that's going to work. All right, so, the length of the stingray, I counted that as 7.2 centimeters. Now, if you said 7.1 or 7.3, okay, but I don't think 7.5 is really going to work. I'm going to try to be as, I won't one slide too much. All right. And so what percent does that represent? So if I'm at my starting point and I'm using a percent to represent the entire amount I'm starting with, what do I have right now for this toy? It is 100% of its length, right? So our original is 100%. So it's the percent that represents the whole amount. So this is 100% because we want to see how this is going to grow. Okay, is it going to grow? What percent? Is it really going to get 600%? And I wanted to ask you, and I don't think I put it in the slide. I may add that before I send you the slideshow, but I'm not going to re-record the video. My question was, if it is growing 600%, how many times bigger is that going to get? Thoughts to ponder. Think about that. 600% would be how many times bigger. And then we're going to see if that's really what happens. All right, so I am going to go for now. Here as possible. Here's our little stingray soaking. Okay, I put it in a little plastic tub. And I'm going to let it soak overnight. And then the next slide that you will see tomorrow will show you the picture after the first soak is done. Okay, so the question you're thinking about is how many times bigger, and I probably will put that on the slide so y'all can answer that. Like I said, I'm just not going to re-record the video, and then we'll talk about that tomorrow, the next day. Okay, see you guys later. Bye.